Welcome to another deep exploration of history. Today, we uncover one of the darkest chapters in American history, the Trail of Tears. A tragic and heartbreaking event, it saw the forced removal of tens of thousands of Native Americans from their ancestral lands, leading to immense suffering and loss. How did this happen? Why were these people torn from their homes? And what were the consequences of this forced migration? Let's journey through this painful yet important story. In the early 19th century, the expansion of white settlers into Native American lands became an ever-growing conflict in the United States. The southeastern tribes, particularly the Cherokee, Creek, Choctaw, Chickasaw, and Seminole, had long lived in what is now Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida. However, as American settlers pushed westward, these lands became increasingly coveted. In 1830, President Andrew Jackson signed the Indian Removal Act, a law that authorized the U.S. government to relocate Native American tribes to lands west of the Mississippi River, primarily in what is now Oklahoma. Despite legal challenges, including the famous Worcester v. Georgia Supreme Court case in 1832, which ruled in favor of the Cherokees' right to remain on their land, Jackson ignored the ruling and continued with forced removals. The removal process varied among tribes, but for the Cherokee Nation, it was particularly devastating. In 1838, under orders from President Martin Van Buren, thousands of Cherokee men, women, and children were rounded up by the U.S. military and forced to march westward. The journey spanned over 1,200 miles, stretching across harsh terrain and brutal weather conditions. The suffering was unimaginable. Without adequate food, water, or shelter, thousands perished along the way. Disease, starvation, and exhaustion took a heavy toll, and it is estimated that over 4,000 Cherokee people died before reaching their destination. Survivors recalled the journey with immense pain, forever calling it the Trail of Tears. The Choctaw were the first tribe to be removed, in 1831, and many referred to it as a Trail of Tears and Death. The Creek followed in 1834, the Chickasaw in 1837, and the Seminole, who fiercely resisted, were forcibly removed by 1842. Among the Creek, a notable leader, Chief Apothleahola, emerged as a symbol of resistance against U.S. policies. He fought tirelessly to protect his people's land and sovereignty, but like many others, he was ultimately forced to flee westward. Though some Seminole remained in Florida, fighting guerrilla warfare against U.S. forces, the majority were exiled to Indian Territory. By 1840, nearly 100,000 Native Americans had been relocated. The impact was catastrophic. Once thriving communities were shattered, cultures were disrupted, and countless lives were lost. Though the U.S. government had promised the tribes land and autonomy in the West, these promises were often broken, and many faced further struggles in their new territories. The legacy of the Trail of Tears remains a deeply painful wound in American history. It serves as a stark reminder of the consequences of greed, power, and expansion at the expense of indigenous peoples. Today, the descendants of those who walked the Trail of Tears continue to preserve their heritage, honoring the resilience and strength of their ancestors. History is often shaped by triumphs and tragedies. The Trail of Tears was a tragedy, but one that should never be forgotten. What are your thoughts on this moment in history? Share in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more historical deep dives.